Musa AS stands alone in the cold night when suddenly he notices a strange fire glowing on the side of Mount Sinai. At first it looks like a normal flame from far away, something that could bring warmth in darkness, but something about it feels different, almost alive, pulling his attention in a way he cannot ignore. As he moves closer to the burning mountain, the atmosphere begins to change. The silence becomes deeper, the surroundings feel unfamiliar, and a sense of unseen presence surrounds him. This is not just a physical journey anymore, but the beginning of something far greater than human understanding, where ordinary reality starts shifting into divine purpose. When he finally reaches the source of the fire, everything changes in a single moment. The burning flame is no longer just fire, but a sign of revelation, a direct connection to something beyond this world. In that moment, Musa AS is not just a traveler anymore. He is being prepared for a mission that will transform his life and the destiny of his people forever. A moment comes that no human mind can fully comprehend. How does a prophet stand before the creator of the heavens and still remain calm in his heart? This is not a story of imagination, but a reality that begins to unfold at Mount Sinai, where Musa AS experiences something that changes the meaning of existence itself. From the burning mountain, a voice emerges that is not like any sound of this world. It carries authority, peace, and command at the same time. Musa AS is not just hearing words, he is entering a direct form of divine communication, where fear and awe mix together in a way that shakes the human soul, but also strengthens it with purpose. In that sacred moment, the first command is revealed, and responsibility is placed on Musa AS that goes far beyond personal life. He is no longer an individual standing alone in the desert. He becomes a messenger chosen for a mission that will challenge a powerful ruler and guide a lost nation toward truth, opening the door to a journey that will test courage, patience, and faith at every step. Musa S leaves Mount Sinai carrying a responsibility that completely changes the direction of his life. The divine command is clear. He must return to Egypt and stand before Pharaoh, the ruler who has built his power on oppression and fear. This is no longer a personal journey, but a mission that carries the weight of an entire nation. When he reaches Egypt, the reality of oppression becomes visible everywhere. The Bani Israel are living under strict control, suffering injustice and humiliation, while Pharaoh continues to believe his authority cannot be challenged. Musa AS understands that confronting such power is not simple. It requires courage, patience, and complete trust in the mission given to him. As he prepares to face Pharaoh, a silent tension builds within him. This is not just a meeting between two men. It is a clash between truth and arrogance, justice and oppression, divine command and human pride. And what happens next will decide not only the fate of Musa AS, but the future of an entire nation. Trapped under fear and control, Musa AS stands before Pharaoh's court, knowing this moment will decide whether truth is accepted or rejected. The air is heavy with arrogance as the elite of Egypt gather, expecting him to fail. But what they are about to witness is not human strength. It is a sign that challenges everything they believe about power and control. When Musa AS throws his staff, it transforms into a living serpent, moving with a force that shocks everyone present. Panic spreads across the court as confidence turns into fear within seconds. Then his hand is shown, glowing with a bright divine light that cannot be explained by any natural cause, leaving the observers frozen in disbelief. The court is now divided between doubt and fear, logic and truth. Some try to call it magic, while others silently question their beliefs. Pharaoh's arrogance is challenged for the first time in his own palace, and a deeper conflict begins to rise. What happens next will reveal whether pride can survive against a truth that cannot be denied. Pharaoh stands in his palace with absolute confidence, believing no one can challenge his authority. When Musa AS speaks the truth in front of him, it is not just a message. It is a direct challenge to the system of power Pharaoh has built his entire identity on. The atmosphere in the court shifts instantly from control to tension as truth begins to confront arrogance face to face. Pharaoh refuses to accept what he sees. Even after witnessing clear signs, He labels them as magic and deception. His mind is not searching for truth anymore. It is only protecting his ego. Musa AS remains calm, not entering emotional conflict, because this is no longer a battle of words. It is a battle between guidance and pride, where one side is already closing its heart. As denial continues, the energy in Egypt begins to change. The tension is no longer limited to the palace. It starts spreading across the nation like a silent warning. And this is where everything escalates further, because rejection of truth is no longer without consequence. What begins next will show that arrogance always reaches a point where signs are no longer just warnings, they become results. Musa AS continues delivering Allah's message, but Pharaoh's denial pushes Egypt into a series of powerful warnings. One after another, signs begin to unfold across the land. Rivers turn into blood, crops are destroyed by locusts, and frogs spread everywhere, turning daily life into discomfort and fear. These are not random disasters, but clear messages meant to wake a hardened nation. As each sign appears, the suffering of the people increases. Homes are affected, food becomes scarce, and peace disappears from everyday life. For many, this becomes a moment of realization that something beyond human control is at work. But even in this growing pressure, Pharaoh and his circle continue to resist, refusing to accept that these events are connected to their rejection of truth. With every new warning, tension in Egypt rises even higher. The people are now caught between fear of punishment and loyalty to their ruler. And as hope begins to fade, a final turning point starts to approach, where the story moves closer to an escape that will change everything and reveal the true power behind these signs. Musa AS receives the command from Allah to lead his people out of Egypt, and in a single moment, years of oppression begin to shift into action. There is no luxury of time, no space for delay. The Bani Israel are gathered quietly, hearts filled with fear, hope, and uncertainty all at once. As they leave Egypt under the cover of night, silence becomes their only protection. Every step feels heavy, because behind them lies a lifetime of oppression, and ahead of them lies the unknown. Families move quickly, trying to escape before Pharaoh realizes what is happening, but the fear of being caught never leaves their minds. Then comes the sound that changes everything. Pharaoh's army has begun pursuit. Dust rises behind them, horses move with speed, and the distance begins to close. Ahead of them is the Red Sea, a massive barrier with no visible escape. In this moment, pressure reaches its peak, and the situation feels completely trapped from every side, setting the stage for a miracle that has not yet revealed itself. The situation reaches a point where there is no visible escape left. In front of Musa AS and the Bani Israel stands the vast Red Sea, calm yet impossible to cross. Behind them, the sound of Pharaoh's army grows louder with every passing second. Fear rises in the hearts of the people as they realize they are trapped between the sea and their enemy. In that critical moment, Musa AS remains firm in his trust. A command from Allah is awaited, and what follows becomes one of the greatest turning points in human history. The sea does not remain a barrier for long. By divine intervention, the waters begin to respond, and a path opens through the middle, creating a passage where there was once only impossible depth. The believers move forward with urgency, stepping into the open path with hope and fear combined. As they reach the other side safely, Pharaoh and his army attempt to follow. But the moment they enter, the waters return to their original state. The sea closes, bringing destruction to the pursuers and survival to the believers. This becomes the ultimate moment where faith and power collide, and the outcome is decided not by strength, but by divine will. After crossing the sea, a new phase of the journey begins, but it is not a phase of comfort. The Bani Israel find themselves in a vast desert where survival becomes a daily struggle. The land offers little food, limited water, and no clear signs of direction, turning relief from Pharaoh into a different kind of test. As days pass, patience begins to weaken in many hearts. Complaints rise, emotions become unstable, and gratitude starts to fade under pressure. Even after witnessing a miracle like the splitting of the sea, human nature is tested again when comfort disappears. Musa RS carries the responsibility of guiding a nation that is now facing internal struggle instead of external enemies. This stage reveals a deeper lesson about faith and endurance. Leadership becomes heavier for Musa as he tries to balance guidance, patience, and the emotional needs of his people. The desert is no longer just a physical place, it becomes a mirror of human behavior under hardship. And as this test continues, a final revelation begins to approach, one that will complete this journey with a deeper understanding of trust, patience, and divine wisdom. The journey of Musa is not just a story of miracles, it is a lesson in how divine wisdom works through patience, pressure, and unseen timing. Every moment from Mount Sinai to Pharaoh's palace was shaping something deeper than events. It was shaping character, faith, and understanding of trust in Allah, even when outcomes were unclear. This entire journey teaches that trials are not signs of abandonment, but signs of elevation. Leadership under pressure, faith during uncertainty, and patience in hardship all become tools of transformation. What seemed like delay was actually divine planning, guiding Musa and his people toward a destiny that only becomes clear in reflection. For every viewer, the message is direct and personal. Your struggles are not meaningless, your delays are not rejection, and your hardships are not the end. They may be part of a process that is preparing you for something stronger. If this story touched your heart, then like the video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful Islamic storytelling. And finally, ask yourself this question. If your own Mount Sinai moment came today, would you still trust Allah's timing even when you cannot see the outcome?